I tried to find a song, what was a sermon tonight. Found one, but I'd never heard of it before. So I'm just going to read it. It went very well in my sermon. It's called Chosen and Sent by the Father. Chosen and sent by the Father before earth's creation, Christ came from heaven in mercy to bring us salvation. Now he sends you God's mighty plan to pursue. Go in strength of the Holy Spirit. That so well with my sermon, but I've never heard it before. So, my sermon title is Chosen. Back in February, how many of you have to get up in the middle of the night? I know as older brothers have to get up in the middle of the night. I got up in the middle of the night. Came back to my bed, and as I was getting bed, I heard the word chosen, just as clear as day. And so I went back to bed. I didn't sleep much the rest of the night. Kept thinking about that word, chosen. So here's my journey into the word chosen. Chosen is found 118 times in the Bible. Chose 44 times, and elect 15. The word chosen also means select or elect, which is an object or objects selection. Chosen is a very powerful word. It just depends on how it's used. If you want an acting job, a leading role, if you want to play on the football team, whatever it is that you desire and you're chosen, it can bring great elation, joy. You want to dance because you've been chosen. But if you're not chosen, it can mean rejection. It can mean dejection. It can make you feel worthless because you weren't chosen for what you wanted. So it's just very much a very powerful word, that word chosen, depending on how you use it. So who is chosen? First, Jesus was chosen. 1 Peter 2:4 says, "As you come to him, a living stone, rejected by men, but in the sight of God, chosen and precious." I don't know how many of you have built a house or built something like the foundation. Dad and Charlie's not here. Dad and Charlie have gone out to Africa and built tabernacles. Well, they had to lay the foundation first. They had to dig it, lay it out, get the footings, do it all, and they got their foundation. Then you have to let it dry, and after you let it dry, then you can build something. So Charlie and Dad did that in Africa. Many. And if you get Daddy's book, well, Mama's book, Love Letters from Africa, you will hear the story of Daddy building our house from ground up by himself. And he had to build the foundation first. We also lay foundations in our life. We have to do that by praying, by studying your Bible, by going to church, by being with other Christians, and living a life pleasing to God. As a single mom, I raised my 3 children, first with the help of my mom and dad, and when I married Clark and got an instant family. But I laid the foundation for them because I took them to church. They knew what it was to pray at night before they went to bed because they would read the Bible too long. And I slowly but surely laid that foundation foundation for my children that, yes, they strayed. No one didn't do it right at the time, and they did stray. But I laid that foundation so much for them that they're all three serving the Lord now. My son got into trouble and stuff, but he's serving the Lord. My oldest daughter's serving the Lord. My middle daughter's there, but she's gonna get better. But they got that foundation. The cornerstone in masonry construction was the first stone that was set in the foundation. And it was the most important stone of all the others that were set because it determined the position of the whole structure. If you got it off by just a little bit, your building would be off a little bit, and it wouldn't be strong. So it determined the structure's stability. Jesus was chosen as that cornerstone. That stability that the rest of the church is built on today. He was chosen, but he was also rejected, and he was despised by an unbelieving, unfaithful world. Psalms 118:22 through 23 said, "The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone." Several other places in the scriptures you'll find the same thing. God chose His Son to come into the world to save a lost and dying world. God knew what His Son would go through. He knew from the word get-go that His Son would hang on a cruel cross. My brother last Thursday talked about that. It was a cruel cross, and He knew exactly what His Son was going to go through to save my soul, to save your souls. He knew exactly what was going to happen to Him. But yet He chose Jesus to come to this world, to die on that cruel cross, because He loved us so much that He sent His Son to us. Jesus is also that cornerstone that other stones were built on. Jesus was precious to God, just like we are. He was so precious to God. He's His Son. All that Jesus is, His name, His truths, His righteousness, His blood, is all precious to God. But that's why He chose God. That's why God chose Jesus. Because of His name, His truths, His righteousness, His blood. We're chosen by God. The scripture that was popped into my mind right away is 1 Peter 2:9. I'm going to read it in King James Version, and I'm also going to read it in the English Standard Version. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of Him who hath called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. But you, so the King James, this is the English Standard Version. But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for His own treasured possession, that you may proclaim the excellence of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. God chose Jesus because He was guiltless, not flawed, someone who had virtue that we did not have. Generation means offspring, family, nation, stock, tribe, nationality, descent from a particular people. His first chosen people were the Israelites. That was in the Old Testament. It included all those people, all their nationalities, everyone who had committed their life to walk in the way of Christ. That was in the Old Testament. Actually, the Old Testament was the Israelites. Those are just quick, right? But the New Testament then, it included everybody, not just the Israelites, not just the Jews. It included us, all nations, everyone. We are the chosen people. We are His royal priesthood, and royal means kingly quality. In the priesthood, in opposite the Old Testament days, they were the Leviticus priests, and they did all the sacrifices, all the intercession for God's people. But now, we are called as His chosen people, as His chosen priests. We, as His priests, are the ones now who engage in the offering of sacrifice. We give ourselves. Ourselves is a sacrifice. We give it by worship. We give it by praise. We give it by telling others. We are the ministers of this gospel. Not the priests, not the Levitical priests, but all of you, all of me, all of us are His ministers of the gospel. The other part of that scripture, most people think that means that we're odd, that we're peculiar, that we hang from the chandeliers, that we're holy rollers, and all that stuff. That's not what it meant. What it meant was a people especially possessed by God and particularly prized by Him. Not only was His Son loved by Him, but He chose us because we are His prized possession. He loves us. He treasures us. He treasures us. He gave His Son for us because He loves us. We are His prized possession. He chose us. We are His. Now, why did He choose us? What is one of the things that He chose us for? 1 Peter 2:9, so that we may proclaim the excellence of Him who called us out of darkness into His marvelous light. God chose us and set us free from darkness. He brought us into light, in His love, His joy, His peace, so that we have a He called us to be a light of the world. He didn't call us to sit on our backsides and do nothing and sit there. He called us to be His light. Luke 8:16, no one, after lighting a lamp, covers it with a jar or puts it under a bed or puts it on a stand so that those that enter but puts it on a stand so that those that enter may see the light. As that song goes, don't hide it under a bushel, hide it under a bushel. Because if we hide what we've been given, if we sit with it like this, no one is going to hear what God did for us. No one is going to hear it. So we have to go out into the world just like what we do here. We have an arena. Mike preaches before his whatever you want to call it, devotional before. We are going into the community because that's what we've been called to do, is to go not just this church, but we as individuals at work, at home, at play, wherever we go, when there's an opportunity, we are to speak out. We are that generation, folks. We're living in the end times. If you haven't noticed it, I don't know where you've been. If you just look, listen, there's wars, rumors of wars, Christians are being killed all over this world. They're being beheaded and killed on what they believe in. Morality is getting worse. You can't even hardly watch TV anymore. You know, some of the ones that you could watch, you can't watch anymore. Listen to what our co-workers talk about. I don't even want to listen to that, what they talk about. We really need to step up our game and do what God has called us to do. He's chosen us. And we are like guards of clay. In 2 Corinthians 4:7 it says, but we have this treasure in jars of clay so that the surpassing power belongs to God and not to us. So do you feel inadequate? I do sometimes. More than that, you feel like a jar of clay? Yeah, I wrestle with that a whole lot. I feel like a jar of clay. I feel like when I have opportunities, sometimes I pass them up because I'm too scared to say anything. I say, you know, God, give me, I don't have the words, I don't know how to say it. I can't even fight with my husband because he has words. He has words and I don't. So, I fight with that too. I have to be honest. If I wasn't honest, I'd be lying. I have to work on that. All God wants us to say is, here am I, use me, and believe and do it. I started praying for divine appointments. That's what my brother-in-law calls them. He prays all the time for divine appointments, and you ought to hear some of his divine appointments. They're absolutely divine. He'll bring you to tears over them. And so I began praying for divine appointments, especially for one of the girls I work with. And I told it to some of you guys here. I began to pray for her. And I would pray for her and pray for divine appointments where I would be able to talk to her. And one day, I didn't even start it. Two other Christian ladies started it. And one of them just happened to say, I don't know how people make it when there's tragedies and they don't have God. And so these two ladies were going back and forth, and finally she just said, I'm one of those. And she said, I know there's something out there. And she says, and I prayed to that something from time to time, but I don't know what it is. And so I told her the story of my husband who didn't know God, didn't believe in God, and went on a youth thing, Christian youth thing, just because he'd never been to Colorado before.